and I dropped the notepad.
Okay, so he's done. You got anything, Scott, you want to talk about in the comic book
Not
industry right
particularly,
now?
yeah.
Not particularly.
Yeah, I think you had a movie.
Easy like Sunday morning he is. Guys, I'm just going to bring up one thing. I'm going to go into some tangents here real quick, but I just want to get your reactions. If you are one of the few who still subscribes to cable, and you get Turner Classic Movies as a part of your channel list, there is an app out there you need to find called Watch TCM, and this is the Turner Classic Movie app. It's available for Roku and a bunch of other things. Watch TCM, a lot of the classic movies they show on Turner Classic Movies turn up on this app, and it can go anywhere from 3 days to a month, depending on how long they want to show it. So this morning, so far, on the Watch TCM app, I've gotten to see The World's Most Dangerous Game from 1936. This was made just before the Hays Code. And if you all don't know what the Hays Code is, it's spelled H-A-Y-S. Look it up. It's fascinating, right? Back in the early 30s, the 20s, our great-great-grandparents were some freaky deeks. Okay? 1932's Freaks, as a matter of fact. It's called officially Todd Browning's Freaks, I think, but that would put a lot of these horror movies and stuff
I've
to
never
shame.
seen it, but
You've heard of it.
Absolutely.
You've seen screenshots of it.
Yeah, I've heard of it too.
The entire movie is available on Watch TCM, and actually I think you could probably find it on YouTube if you're willing to look. Be careful if you do, because it's quite a sight. Anyway, The World's Most Dangerous Game from 1936, I think, 35, has the guys who directed King Kong the following year. Okay, the guy who directed King Kong would direct that King Kong the following year after this movie. The guy who produced King Kong was there, and the two leading stars of King Kong were in this movie as well. Now the idea is this guy is on a yacht that sinks. He winds up washing up on the shore of this island, and oh, thank God, there's a mansion up there. Scott, I want to see if this sounds familiar to you, because the mansion is owned by a Russian big game hunter who got bored of hunting big game and decides he needs a new challenge of hunting human beings. Who does that sound like to you, Mr. Comic Man?
Mr. Kraven.
That's Kraven the Hunter, yeah. That's where the inspiration came from him. You're aware the Joker came from what was the name of that movie? The Man Who Laughs?
Man Who Laughs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From about the same time.
Yeah.
The Man Who Laughs, yeah.
Yep.
That's where that came from. So
He made some creepy crap.
they did make some creepy crap back then, and I tell you, that was a good. And right now I'm working my way through the original Cape Fear from 1962.
Oh, I've never seen the
You've
original.
never seen that? Oh my!
I've never
You've seen the remake,
Oh,
right?
absolutely, several times.
Seen the remake.
The original, I swear to God, the original is creepy in its own way, because it's 1962, so you can't get away with what you could. I think it was in 1990, 91 when they remade it. But it is creepy in its own way, with Gregory Peck and Robert Mitchum in it. It is, if you get a chance, go see it.
You can find all this on that?
It's all on Watch TCM. So if you have Turner Classic Movies on your cable lineup or your streaming lineup, and it's Spectrum, Comcast, any of the big guys will be able to authenticate you for it. You get it for free. It's no extra cost. Sit down and watch those movies. Like I said, if you miss it live on the air, and I do because I don't watch that much live TV anymore, but if you miss it live, you can catch it on the app. And of course, Halloween just ended, so you'll see things from like Cape Fear to Duck Soup, a Marx Brothers film, to the original 1954 Godzilla, the original Japanese black and white version, in Japanese, with subtitling. You have not seen Godzilla until you've seen it that way, and it goes from being, listen, Godzilla with Raymond Burr in it is kitsch. It's kind of corny and stuff. The original without Raymond Burr, the original Japanese, where you're listening to everybody screaming in Japanese, that is a horror movie. Because Godzilla just straight up don't play. He just wants dead Japanese. That's all he cares about. and he just destroys Japan. And so, I mean, now it's almost like a punchline. Back then, and to be honest, even now, watching it, knowing what we know about Godzilla and having our opinions about it, it is still a bit of a shock to see what the original intention was. That's that director's vision. But
I was able to watch that one time, and I was just like, wow, that's not the Godzilla I know, but
no.
holy cow.
But that's what they're actually, I think that's what they've been trying to get with the new Godzilla.
I think
films.
of
They're trying to bring it back.
Matthew Broderick. I think of Godzilla.
I
Or
think,
Mothra.
I think of Inspector Gadget when I think of Matthew Broderick. I used to think of War
Sarah-
Games when I think of Matthew Broderick.
I think
but-
of Sarah Jessica Parker. And then I think of South Park. And I think of Sarah Jessica Parker. So, everything comes back to South Park.
Back then,
For me,
they had
90s kid, yeah.
they had a lot of like movies that I would consider definitely original, but back then it's like, you know, it's crazy the stories that they had back then. One of my favorite movies is Key Largo. Has Humphrey Bogart in it, and some dude that played a lot of mobster movies, but I cannot remember his name. But
Edward G. Robinson.
yeah.
See, I'm not all my brain cells are allocated, just the
No,
ones
you
that
got
can
it.
balance a checkbook.
But that was, to me, that was just that and To Kill a Mockingbird, movies like Wolfman. Oh my goodness, the original Wolfman movie. Love that movie. Love that movie. Favorite movie in the whole horror.
Classic path.
Yeah, loved it.
You know, this actually relates to comic books in a way because with the rise of streaming, of course, it's a lot easier to stream old stuff than new stuff. So the rights are easier to get for older stuff. But we're talking about movies on TCM, talking about the classic Universal, and I mean like the old 70, 80-year-old Universal movie monsters.
Yeah, I've never followed any of that. Really.
Oh.
Oh, good stuff.
It's hard for somebody who's used to modern
Yeah,
horror movies to look at it and realize, I mean, you really have to come in almost like a kid to watch Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, when he drowns the little girl inadvertently.
Yeah, Young Frankenstein is about as far back as I get.
Okay,
Young
I'm
Frankenstein.
going to wrap it up. But anyway, the point
Oh,
is,
great.
a lot of people are gravitating towards the older movies, the older TV shows, because you're starting to see more crap coming out of Hollywood. I mean, we're coming out of a golden age of television, okay? Game of Thrones and all these other things starting in the 90s. Yeah, all these great shows. Lost was
Breaking
out.
Bad.
Breaking Bad was out. All these other
Did you
great
guys watch
shows.
El Camino?
What's
No.
that?
The El Camino movie on Netflix?
I've seen El
Sorry,
Camino.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, that's all right.
I honestly, I mean, sorry, but I've never been a Breaking Bad fan.
Now, I haven't either, but I can understand the appeal of it.
Yeah.
But
I liked it. I mean, I'm not gonna
it's one of those rare.
buy RV and recreate the.
It's not as rare now as it used to be,
Yeah.
but the fascination with the bad guy is
Yeah.
what that's all about.
Yeah.
And how a person turns bad, what their motives are.
Modern day Scarface.
Yeah, essentially is what it
Yeah.
is. Yeah, a modern day blue collar.
Absolutely.
Scarface.
Yeah.
But what the hell was I saying? I was saying something. Oh, people watching older
Mhm.
movies, TV shows, because a lot of the new stuff is crap. Okay,
Or
we're seeing-
reboots of old stuff.
and reboots, yeah.
Yeah.
And Dan DiDio, the publisher of DC Comics, he has been complaining for a while that nobody wants to read the new stuff; they just want to read the old crap. And why do they keep wanting to read the old crap? Because the old crap is entertaining.
Yeah. It
And
was
again, let's
better.
go all the way back to our very first episode. What was the most important thing about telling a story? Tell the story well. And if you're a lousy storyteller, if you don't know how to tell a story, you're not going to tell a good story, most likely. Every once in a while, you'll luck out and manage to string enough stuff together that it actually forms a little crap line on the wall. But
I mean, it was like, for instance, like he was talking about the Joker movie. The Joker, you know, nobody really wanted an origin story of the Joker. Nobody wanted that at all. I didn't. Did you guys?
I would take it, yeah.
I mean, we was offered it, and we was like, okay, but I'm not asking for it. But now that it's out there, and it tells a very good, complex story of a guy with mental illness. I mean, it apparently everybody's
that
like
movie
really
can stand alone away from DC, but I
yeah.
mean,
Oh yeah. But I mean, like what you were talking about, like when it comes to story wise, it takes a lot of thought and effort to actually come up with a great story and stick it like that instead of like throwing in what people want. You know, kind of like this generation and stuff like that. It's like everything has to be all flashy and look pretty much horrible to me, but
No, I understand. One last thing before we go. You were talking about, well, Disney Plus starts up November 12th. The reboot, or the sequel to Spider-Verse hits in 2022. Hey, I said it right that time. HBO Max hits, I think, March of 2020.
yes.
so what's HBO Max?
HBO Max is Warner Brothers' answer to Disney Plus,
Oh,
essentially. So it's, now you
It's
got to
all
remember,
Warner Brothers, HBO.
yeah,
Yeah.
Disney Plus.
DC stuff.
Yeah, Disney Plus pulls together all the Disney properties like Star Wars and Marvel and all the other stuff, the cartoons. All of it comes together under Disney Plus. So you got a grown-up section, a kids section, stuff. HBO Max is Warner Brothers' answer to that, and this is where you get the Warner Brothers back catalog, but you also get HBO, you get DC Comics, all the other Warner stuff falls under their Cartoon Network. Everything falls in there. And one thing they're working on is Batman Beyond and a new Green Lantern core series. Ryan Reynolds list, I'm sure, but
yeah, he will never go back
I
to
swear that movie wasn't that bad. I mean,
Oh,
it wasn't
I-
great,
But I had a friend who was a huge fan of Green Lantern. He loved Green Lantern. When that movie came out, he's like, let's go see it. So we went to go see it. It's a good thing that there was nobody else in the theater at the time that we went, because he was cussing up a storm, saying, what the fuck? He was just going, I was like, dude, calm down. He's like, no, this is... It's like, that's what you do. That's what you get when you give dumbasses something that is great, and then they destroy it because they don't know the story or any of the history of that character.
I think I watched on maybe TMC not long ago.
oh, I'm
On
sure.
TV,
Yeah.
yeah.
They got to use it to fill time sometimes.
Yeah. And I sat through the whole thing. I even watched commercials.
Does it like IFC
The
does
commercial's
that?
probably more entertaining than the movie was.
IFC does that a lot. I see that they always play the sequels or something of a movie that sucks instead of going for the good piece. You know?
Yeah, because the sucky sequel's a hell of a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
And it takes up just as much time.
That's funny. I'll tell you one thing I do want to check out. I'm actually thinking about getting Apple TV.
Apple TV, yes.
There is some stuff coming on there. Jason Momoa has C. There was something else, but there's this one about history. I can't remember her name.
Emily Dickinson.
Yes.
Yeah. Haley Steinfeld.
Yes. It looks really good. It's like modern day. Kind of reminds me of Amadeus, where it has like that goofy but yet.
Yeah, I see how you see that.
It
Which
looks,
I've just seen previews.
Yeah,
That's all I
me-
use Apple TV.
Me too. Is the previews, and it actually looks really entertaining. And there's a lot of talk coming from that and C, and people are like really talking how good those shows really are.
I mean,
And
Apple's
I'm
got
like,
unlimited
yeah.
money to put into them. I mean, they
So-
can just.
Yeah, and the problem is what happens when after you've watched those two shows. What backs it up?
It's,
I'm seeing complaints online right now that Disney already has an app called what was it called? I think it's called Disney, not Disney Go. It's I can't think what it was. They already have an app out there that includes a lot of the Disney XD and the Disney Junior and Disney Channel, all the Disney stuff in one app.
Disney XD app, I know that.
Yeah, a lot of it has been sucked out of that Disney app, and it's being held till November 12th, basically, for the Disney Plus app. I'm going to go ahead and make a prediction right now. Now, we've seen PlayStation Vue bite the dust because Sony's already in financial trouble as it is. Even Spider-Man's having trouble saving it, or at least Sony, the movie studio, is. Within the next 3 years, you're probably going to see a lot of these streaming services go away. And I imagine the ones who are going to survive, Netflix and Hulu.
Netflix. I don't watch it much anymore.
No, because there's nothing there to watch. I mean, they're trying to come up with their own original content, but the thing is, you've seen it once. Now, we're going to see a huge shakeout in the streaming TV services first. We saw that with PlayStation Vue because it's basically cable over the internet. You're going to see a bunch of those drop over the next year or two.
Or something.
YouTube TV and a bunch of others. You're going to see a bunch of those drop. A lot of these studios that are running their own streaming services and stuff, like I said, Disney and Warner with HBO Max, and you're talking about Apple and YouTube's doing their own stuff and all this other stuff. Those are going to go away once they stop making their growth targets. You already seen Netflix get in trouble because they can't quite keep growing at the exponential growth they have been, and so people stop investing in it, the people in charge stop pouring money into it, the content starts drying up, and it goes away. That's why I'm saying I'm going to say by 2025, Netflix will be there, and they'll probably be carrying Friends and Office.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Peacock, the NBC streaming thing, NBC Universal. That's now going to be free, supposedly. Hello!
Hello.
What's up? We're going to go through.
Awesome. We'll wrap this up here in just a second. We're recording a quick thing for YouTube real quick. Just give us a second. We'll wrap this. Unless you really want to be on, you can feel free to join in. It's up to you. But I don't blame you, actually. It's best to avoid the car wreck. But anyway, like I said, with the NBC's Peacock, they're going to go to a free thing. But that'll work or not, I don't know. But in about 5 years, you're going to have Netflix. You'll have Hulu because that's where Disney and Fox are going to shrink back to.
I still say Netflix is. I'm still
Netflix will survive.
I'm still a winner of Netflix. I'm sorry.
Unless they're either going to
Hulu will stay for Netflix will.
Yeah, Netflix is either going to be one of the last ones standing, or they're going to go bankrupt from all their debt.
Yeah.
And eventually they get too big to fail. Remember that thing? Anyway. So we're going to wrap it up so Scott can actually make some money in here once in a while. Till next time, Spike, Chris, Scott, we'll see you all next time on Geekin' Out. Take care, y'all.
See ya.